Tommy Turbo, mate. He dominated in every sphere.
Can you imagine what Jarryd Hayne would have done that year if he was playing with someone called Daly Cherry Evans?
Well done on dragging a team to 8th. Manly finished 4th in 2021.
I've never seen a year like Jarryd Hayne's performance, and I don't think I ever will.
Parramatta fans are more passionate than Manly fans. 3, 2, 1.
Well, let me start with, are we talking like Parramatta fans that still follow it, or the ones that shipped down the road to Penrith after Penrith started succeeding? Because if it's Parramatta fans that are here now, got a lot of loyalty and commitment, but how many of your fans have gone and followed the Panthers since 2020?
It's an interesting point. I guess you're kind of saying that as well, but I want to know how many Manly fans actually used to be North Sydney fans, and when they merged, kind of come across. But for me, I guess you can judge it based on how fans travel, and Manly won't even go over the bridge, so they won't travel to away games yet. Look, they get great crowds at Manly, but you don't really see many Manly fans around anywhere else.
No, that's why I'm only going to disagree, because I concede that there is probably a greater commitment from Parramatta fans. I don't think it's anything to do with the club, and it's more to do with the laziness of people on the northern benches. But also, my experience with the Manly fan base is there's a certain large demographic that or portion that are pretty cynical. And are sometimes enjoying more when the team's losing than winning. So I will give respect to the Parramatta fans that are still Parramatta fans now, but you lost a bunch when Penrith got good.
I don't think we lost a lot at Penrith. We lost one, notable one, but we don't really want to talk about him. But look, 35,000 members still. I've been to pretty much every game this year. I've been to Melbourne, I've been to Brisbane, I've been to Magic Round as well, and there's blue and gold armies everywhere. Like I said, definitely the most loyal.
Yeah, well, you've got to be loyal when your team's shit, but I understand.
100%, yeah, it's been 40 years, so, and there's probability it's going to happen eventually. So I think we're just kind of hanging out waiting, and you're actually kind of right about Manly. I was at Manly last week, not last weekend, the weekend before, and the Manly fans around actually bag Manly out more than Parramatta. So
it's a bit sad. That's why I'm kind of, If you didn't have those traders that went to Penrith, I'd say, I agree. But
Brookvale has a better atmosphere than CommBank. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it's hard to deny. Yeah.
Well, Parramatta, when Parramatta are going well, is a great place to be. Unfortunately for Parramatta, it's such a great stadium, world-class stadium that so many fans want to travel there. And sadly, this year I've experienced, a lot of Dogs fans, even Warriors fans on the weekend, come out and make big numbers at the end of the ground. I was at Brookvale the other day, and look, it's a bit of a hole, not going to lie.
Yeah.
Terrible ground. No one wants to travel there. So that's the benefit Manly fans have. Having the hill obviously works out really well for them. And I guess when Manly are winning on a Sunday afternoon, it's definitely a louder crowd.
Yeah, and so that's the benefit of it being small and crappy, is that it's, and also just it's small, so the membership base that's coming pretty much packs out the whole thing. So it's a great atmosphere for Manly fans. If we're talking facilities, it's absolutely putrid. It is horrific. It is disgusting. And I hope I don't get cancelled for saying that from Manly fans. But in the actual atmosphere, it's our home ground. We're not renting or sharing it with anyone. And also I can say that to the best of my knowledge, Manly fans have never tried to pick a fight with opposing players in their own stadium.
Can I slide over? Is that possible? Because I've had a thought back. And when I was at Manly the other day, and I hate Parramatta doing this as well, there was a lot of PA started chants. There was a lot of a guy was getting on the PA system and starting the Manly chant over and over again. And I think fan bases, it should be natural. So I'm going to slide across to the disagree. The fact that although there was a lot of drunk people having fun on the hill at Manly, it felt very fake, if that makes sense.
Oh, it's totally not fake, mate. I mean, that guy's got a job to do, so he's probably been told to do it. There's not someone going, the crowd's a little low, let's G him up. The hill rocks, mate. It goes hard. Think about, you could hear from Seibold's coaching box when they were chanting Seibold out. Like, that was crystal clear when that coming across. So the atmosphere's there. The guy's got a job to do to G him up, but I don't think that takes away from Brookie.
2009, Jarryd Hayne was better than 2021 Tom Trbjoveic. 3, 2, 1.
Tommy Turbo, mate. Just absolutely came out of nowhere. Manly 4 losses to start the season, trending downwards, looking in real trouble. Then he steps up. He's carrying all the trauma of injuries and all that kind of stuff. Yes, the rules definitely suited his style of play, but he absolutely went ballistic. Takes out, and here's the key thing, because I know Hayne had an unbelievable season. I was watching some highlights today of him actually. Like, he looked phenomenal. But what's critical about Manly and Turbo and his season is that he didn't just overperform and do unbelievable in the NRL. He took out the Wally Lewis medal. So we know that Hayne and Turbo both got Dally M, both had unbelievable fullback of the year. But Turbo also takes out the Wally Lewis. Like, he dominated in every sphere.
We obviously said going a bit of a run, losing 4 games to start. Parramatta were 14th halfway through the year. Jarryd did Jarryd things, obviously got, shuffled around a bit at the start of the year. And then all of a sudden, boom, Jarryd Hayne. I think he picked up that many Dally M points. He won it by, I think, 3 rounds to go. He was incredible. And you got to look at who they're playing with. Tom Trbjoveic playing with a bloke called Daly Cherry Evans. Jarryd Hayne, no disrespect to these people, but Jeff Robson and Daniel Mortimer. Can you imagine what Jarryd Hayne would have done that year if he was playing with someone called Daly Cherry Evans? Mm-hmm. And look, where'd Manly finish in 2021? Obviously, I don't know where they finished the end of the year, but I know they didn't make a grand final, did they? So,
yeah, you had a run. So I'd say well done on dragging a team to 8th. Manly finished 4th in 2021. So there's that. I think you raise a good point of definitely a better squad. This is why I'm it's just a disagree. I think this is not to discredit what Hayne did. It was phenomenal. But on the topic of Hayne secured the Dally M with 3 rounds to go. Well, Tommy only played 17 games and locked it up. So they both did it phenomenally, but I just reckon what Tommy did. I mean, everyone talks about both, but I just think what Tommy did was unbelievable. I think for him, and then on the Cherry Evans thing, totally had a better squad. But for Cherry Evans, I think he's grateful Tommy was around. That was the cheat code. It's just give it to Tommy and he'll treat it like it's under 8s.
We've also got to remember too, it was a different vibe in 21. COVID affected year, obviously, being away, being amongst the boys and stuff, doing different things, distractions of 2009, how different the game was, and the freaky stuff that Jarryd Hayne did, and was able to back it up, obviously, with another Dally M 5 years later. So you can't get me across on this one. I was jumping back and forward on the last one, but this one for me, I've never seen a year like Jarryd Hayne's performance, and I don't think I ever will.
Yep, fair enough.
Parramatta will win their next premiership before Manly. 3, 2, 1.
Wow, let's hear it.
I don't think either team is close to winning a premiership, may I add. I think Manly fans have got a bit of a false illusion because of a new coach and a coach they clearly didn't want to play with before. But I don't think either of us are as close as we want our team to be. But based on the basis of probability and the fact that even the Cubs won a comp eventually, Parramatta have got to win one. We have to win one. It's not going to be this year. Yeah. You know that. We've conceded 50 points. Likewise. So have you conceded 50 yet?
No, this year, no.
That's a miracle, actually. Yeah. Haven't. So it probably will come eventually. But I don't think we'll win one next year either. But 2028 is the year of the Eel. I know I've said that a few times before. It's going to be our year, but I'm telling you, the Warriors win the comp this year because it's their year because they've been saying it for a while, and then Parramatta win a comp in 28. Manly, I was pretty impressed with their young halfback the other day, I'm not going to lie, but it's going to take a while to get him in over Fogarty there where they shift off Brooks and stuff, but they might win one in 29, but yeah, Parra win one first. So they've got to.
I'm probably more reasonable than you are in terms of I don't think either of our teams are getting close to winning it in 2028. My argument for why I think Manly's got more promise is I know the Eels have invested a lot into juniors, but we've got some young stars. We've got some mid-20s stars that are in the team like Kola, Olakawatu, Hopewadi's there. There's a bunch of great talent around that's already proven themselves to be first-grade players that can change a game. Then you've got, who you mentioned, Joey Walsh, there's Onatoni Large, there's some great young talent coming through. And when I looked at the 28, and granted I haven't done this for the Eels, when I look at what the 28 squad would be for Manly, it fills me with a lot of hope. Again, I don't think they're winning it in 28. But when I look at the Eels, and right now with what you're doing with your salary cap, we've got some players like Jake Trbojevic probably won't be around in 28. There's some older players that aren't going to be around, so there's actually a lot more room for us to move. At the moment, you guys are looking pretty rough with your salary cap.
Oh, we've got a lot to spend, so we've got to see how much these good young players come through. I think 28 is where we go to that market. Mm-hmm. Respectfully, there's not a lot available next year. I think 28, some big players have come available. November, hopefully we sign a couple of good players and bring some good young kids through and kind of develop our halves and stuff. The thing for me with Manly is they haven't appointed a coach yet. Everyone's saying Foran might get it, he could get it, stuff like that. No disrespect to Kieran Foran. I don't think he's ready for that yet either. I think he's a very good player manager, and that's what he's doing right. He's managing players that didn't want to play for their last coach. If you appoint a different coach, you start again. And let's be honest, what club's gone out with a brand new coach and it won a comp in the first 2-3 years, really?
Yeah, and I would agree on that. Manly's not going to win the next 2 to 3 years in terms of if we're comparing other teams. I would say a couple of things though. So Parramatta's going to, if you're talking about recruitment, you're going to now have to be competing with the Perth Bears and PNG. So there's a lot of other opportunities on the table. So I don't think it's going to be as easy as you're suggesting. The other thing is with foreign is, that's a fair point on we don't have the coach. Let's say we choose Foz. Coaches can get great assistance. If they're an amazing player manager, it can work. We've seen this with Wayne Bennett. It can work if you're great at managing personnel. So I wouldn't write it off. And therefore, I still think like if we keep Foz, okay, then there's the conditional. If Foz does get signed, there is the potential that we're going to get some momentum and start actually having a tilt at the premiership. You only need to look at how we played against Penrith and the way we've been playing to see that there's actually a lot of positive signs that Manly could do a lot better than currently Parra are.
We'll see.
Nathan Hindmarsh was a better player than Steve Menzies. 3, 2, 1.
Firstly, I want to say this. A lot of respect for Hindmarsh. I think he cops it a lot because he's a larrikin in the Matty Johns show world. He actually did so much great work for New South Wales and for the Eels. Hard worker, tackled hard, a great player. I don't think this is about who. Are neither of them great players. They're both great players. I mean, obviously, Hindmarsh has a bit of the flop to his legacy. But in general, phenomenal player. I don't want to have any disrespect towards Hindy. But Beaver Menzies, mate, knows how to score tries. Just sitting there off Cliffy lines, finds a hole, holding records, won 2 premierships for Manly. And you know, we both, Manly fans and Parramatta fans, have felt the sting of the Melbourne Storm cheating the cap. So I don't even hold that against Hindy. I think he probably should have one. But you can't deny Beaver's try-scoring record, his ability to read the game, to run through a hole and to know where to be, to make sure he's getting his team a try.
I'll start by saying the same. This is obviously a very hard one because I've got a lot of respect for Menzies as well. They're actually great mates as well. But for me, Nathan Hindmarsh is what all Parramatta was about. And you mentioned it, Steve Menzies, great in attack. Hindy, for me, his attack at the start of his career was fantastic. It slid away a bit at the back end of the career because he went defensively. Yeah. He adapted to his body and he adapted what his team needed. What he did for New South Wales and Australia, Nathan Hindmarsh never had a bad game. You can't look back and say he had a bad game. And let's be honest, he debuted obviously early, what was it, 98 for Parramatta, 99, when things are looking great. Some pretty lean years, 2009, and some very lean years after that. So on a level of what he achieved for Parramatta, probably, wasn't up there, but he was our best player every week.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to compare because there were different types of second rowers. Like Hindy was a workhorse, doing all the hard yards. Beaver was the highlight reel, scoring the tries, and obviously they contributed in other areas. But I just think, mate, you consider, it's insane. I think Beaver's he's at least in the top 10. He's probably pushing the top 5 for try scorers. He didn't play in the 6 again era. This is a guy. It's a second rower scoring that many tries is unbelievably impressive. That's not by luck or chance or just being set up a couple of every game. Yeah.
No, as I said, definitely great attacking player, but for me, I can't go against Hindy. I can't do it.
I'm not going against Beaver.
I wish I was talking about someone else, to be honest, because like you said, they're so hard to compare, but I guess we can both be pretty lucky that we saw them both play with each other as well.
Manly's best ever 13 beats Parramatta's best ever 13. 3, 2, 1.
I'll start by saying, I don't know how far we're going back. Exactly. We could just go back to the 1982 grand final and decide it there. That's kind of all I've got. Without putting a team together, you got to look at that team of Parra of the 80s. They were practically New South Wales and Australian backline. Adding in someone I mentioned like a Nathan Hindmarsh, probably even a modern day Mitchell Moses is his best, a Jarryd Hayne, stuff like that. If you combine them with the players of the 80s, and it's a completely different game, and no disrespect to the Manly 90s team, they did lose half a comp to the Knights though, so that obviously has to come into it in Super League year, but...
Oh, that's just because people are afraid to play us. Yeah.
yeah, apparently, yeah. And then the Parramatta, even that 90s team as well, like your Dean Pays, Jason Smiths, add them in as well. It's a very strong team. Yeah. I actually simulated on a game before we come and Parramatta won 28-20. So I didn't really. I just wanted to get one over you. But
I think, this is hard, right? Because it depends. We don't know what players were like in the 50s, 60s. We're never going to fully know what that best 13 is going to be. The fact that you do have to go back to 82 is an indictment on where Parra's at. Yeah. I just went with the team from 2011, and I'm just going to throw in an Olakawatu. Maybe I'm putting in a Jeff Tuvey or something like that. And even that 2011 team, when I think about going up against Parra's best 13, it's going to be a tight game. But these guys are just unbelievable. And they were the antithesis of what we would call professionalism in the modern era of these guys just loved they trained hard and played hard, but there's also so many stories of them getting training off, not turning up, cracking jokes,
building the crap out of each other at training.
Exactly. Like it was, and so that's why I think it's the best 13, that 2011 side, or 2008. I could take either because we won a few in quick succession. So is that it wasn't just the talent, it was the camaraderie and alignment of the team. And I don't have to stretch back to the 80s.
Fair shout. Like I said, you're never going to get a real balance because the game's changed so much. And, you look at the modern game, how quick it is, but we don't know how good those 80s players would have been at Parramatta. Like we said, the 2009 Eels team, there was a few stars, but a lot of players that just got through with, I guess, that magical run in the football they were playing. Bring the 2001 Eels, they up until a couple of years ago, the highest ever point scoring team. Mm-hmm. Add some of those players in, but I want to say we win. And I want to say we win because I'll go back to the thing before. We're due for a big win. And Parramatta's greatest ever beating Manly would be a big win for us.
Fair enough, mate. Cheers, mate.